Oh, we won.
Today, it's all about tile and grout cleaning.
Perfect timing. We've been getting tons of questions from floor cleaning businesses.
Seems everyone's looking to add this to their services.
Yeah, everyone wants a piece of that tile and grout pie, right?
Definitely. Looks like a pretty sweet slice, especially with this article and training from Taf Big, right?
He's the guru.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's see what he's got for us in terms of launching a successful tile and grout business.
One thing that jumps out is how much more profitable this niche is.
Oh, yeah. How so?
He actually breaks it down. You can charge up to $1.50 per square foot for tile and grout cleaning.
Wow. Compared to carpet cleaning, that's like a significant difference, right?
Huge.
So why aren't all carpet cleaners already doing this?
Well, it's not as simple as just spraying and scrubbing.
Right. Makes sense. I mean, there's got to be some know-how involved.
And that's where Taf Big's expertise comes in. He stresses this whole thing about knowing your tiles.
Like different types of tiles.
Exactly. He divides them into two main groups, man-made and natural.
Okay, break that down for me. What falls under man-made?
You've got your ceramic, your porcelain, those tougher guys. Then you've got your natural stone.
Ah, the delicate ones, like marble and granite.
Right on.
Okay, so why is knowing the difference such a big deal?
Well, imagine using the wrong cleaning solution. Disaster, right?
Yeah, you could ruin a client's floor.
Exactly. Each type of tile needs a specific approach.
So how do we tell them apart when we're out on a job?
Taf Big, he's got these 4 simple tests, super practical.
Oh, I love a good field test. Give me the rundown.
Okay, first up, look at the pattern. Man-made tiles, they have that repeating pattern. Natural stone, totally random, each piece is unique.
That's a good one. What else?
Then there's the water absorption test.
So,
Porous tiles, they'll soak up the water like a sponge.
makes sense. So like natural stone would absorb more.
Bingo. All right, test number 3. A gentle scratch test. Find a hidden spot, give it a little scratch. Softer tiles, like sandstone, will show marks easier.
Sneaky. I like it. What's the last test?
This one's my favorite.
Okay.
A drop of phosphoric acid.
Oh, getting serious now.
It'll fizz on natural stone. Pretty cool, right?
That's awesome. Like a science experiment, but for tile.
Exactly. So you can be sure you're using the right approach.
So far, so good.
Mm.
But what about the grout? Everyone always complains about dirty grout.
The grout. That's where things get really interesting.
Oh, I bet.
It's porous. It sits lower than the tile. Dirt just loves to hide there.
A nightmare. And it's the first thing people notice, right?
It's like the elephant in the room.
Exactly. So if the grout's dirty, the whole floor looks dirty.
Right. Clients often judge your whole cleaning job based on the grout alone.
Makes sense. So tell me more about this grout mystery. Are there different types too?
You bet. 2 main types, cementitious and epoxy.
Okay, cementitious. That sounds familiar.
It's the most common, comes in 2 versions, sanded and unsanded.
Oh, I think I've heard of those. Sanded for floors, unsanded for walls, right?
You got it. And Taf Big, he emphasizes this a lot.
Yeah.
Using the right type in the right place is crucial.
Yeah, using wall grout on the floor, probably not a good idea.
Recipe for disaster. Now, epoxy grout, that's a whole different animal.
Oh, how so?
Super durable, stain resistant, good for high traffic areas.
Sounds like a client favorite.
Definitely. But here's the catch. You can't seal it.
Wait, what? So knowing your grout type is just as important as knowing your tile type, right?
Absolutely. It dictates your whole approach.
Okay, so we've got tile identification down, grout identification down. What's next?
Let's move on to the cleaning process itself. Taf Big talks about a big shift in the industry.
Oh, a shift. Tell me more.
It's all about going from low-tech to high-tech cleaning methods.
High-tech tile and grout cleaning. Sounds intriguing.
It's pretty amazing, actually. Think about your carpet cleaning equipment.
Yeah. Our trusty truck, mounts, and portables. What about them?
Well, they've become the stars of the tile and grout cleaning show. High pressure, extraction, it's revolutionized the whole process.
Wow. So we're not just talking about buckets and mops anymore.
No way. This is next level cleaning.
Dumb.
Much more efficient, much more effective.
I'm all for that. So how do we apply this high-tech approach specifically to tile and grout?
Well, you need the right pressure, for starters. 800 to 1200 psi.
Okay. My truck mount can handle that.
Perfect. But if you're using a portable, you might need a pressure booster.
Got it. And what about extraction?
That's key, especially with portables. You'll need a good pump-out system.
Makes sense. All that water's got to go somewhere.
Exactly. Now let's talk tools.
Oh, yeah, the fun part. What kind of fancy gadgets are we talking about?
Taf Big raves about this thing called the Hydroforce rotating tool.
Hydroforce sounds intense.
It's like a mini sprinkler system, blasts away dirt with high-pressure jets.
Way more efficient than scrubbing by hand.
Oh yeah, way faster.
Yeah.
And he mentions a few other tools too.
Like what?
The blaster wand, good for concentrated cleaning.
Ah, for those hard-to-reach edges.
You got it. And some specific tools for countertops too.
Nice. But it sounds like this Hydroforce is the top dog.
Definitely his favorite for efficiency and speed.
All right, tools are checked off the list. What about the cleaning solutions? Anything special we need for tile and grout?
Absolutely. And this is where Taf Big drops a bombshell. He introduces a product that changed the whole game.
Oh, a game changer. I'm all ears.
He calls it Oxyblaster.
Oxyblaster. I've definitely heard that name thrown around in the industry.
It's kind of a legend.
What's so legendary about it?
Well, Taf Big says it's the OG grout cleaner, like the first one specifically designed for this.
Really? So before Oxyblaster, what were people using?
Whatever they could find, I guess. You know, all-purpose cleaners, bleach solutions, stuff like that.
But nothing specifically for grout.
Nope. And those solutions, they just didn't cut it. They'd clean the surface, but not really get down into the pores of the grout.
Ah, so Oxyblaster was the first to really tackle that deep-seated grind.
Exactly. It was a game changer, and Taf Big says it's still the most copied product in the industry.
So what makes it so effective? What's the secret sauce?
Oxygen bleach.
Oxygen bleach. That's the magic ingredient.
That's the stuff. It breaks down dirt and grime like nothing else. But here's the key.
Okay, I'm listening.
Dwell time.
Dwell time. You mean letting it sit on the grout?
Exactly. Taf Big really hammers this home in his training. He says you gotta let Oxyblaster sit for at least 15 minutes, sometimes even longer for those really tough stains.
So it's not just about spraying it on and wiping it off. Patience is key.
Patience is a virtue, especially in the tile and grout cleaning game. That dwell time allows the oxygen bleach to really penetrate the grout and do its thing.
I can see that. So what if, after 15 minutes, you still see some blotchiness?
Easy fix. Taf Big says to reapply Oxyblaster to those spots and let it dwell again.
Just hit it again?
Yep. And the crazy thing is, he says it often evens out as it dries. You end up with these bright, clean grout lines.
That's pretty cool. So it's like a two-step process for those tough stains. Apply, wait, check, and if needed, reapply.
You got it. And the results, they speak for themselves. Taf Big says clients are always blown away by how bright the grout looks after a good Oxyblaster treatment.
That's all about that wow factor, right?
Exactly. That's what sets you apart from the competition. Now, while Oxyblaster is amazing, there are a few other cleaning solutions that Taf Big mentions, you know, for specific situations.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, for example, there's Awesome Boost. It's primarily for carpet stains, but he says it can also work wonders on stubborn tile and grout spots.
Interesting. So there's some crossover between carpet cleaning and tile and grout cleaning when it comes to chemicals. What about grease stains? Those can be a pain to remove.
For grease, Taf Big recommends a good citrus-based greaser.
Citrus-based?
Yep. The natural solvents in citrus are really good at breaking down grease, and they're not as harsh as some of those chemical degreasers.
Makes sense. So we've got Oxyblaster for general grout cleaning, Awesome Boost for those stubborn spots, and citrus-based degreasers for grease. Any other must-haves in our chemical arsenal?
He briefly mentions one more called N-Trashed. It's a neutral pH cleaner, safe for all sorts of surfaces.
A good all-arounder.
Yeah.
Now, I remember Taf Big talking about something called efflorescence in his training. What exactly is that, and how big of a problem is it?
Efflorescence, it's that white, chalky haze you sometimes see on grout after it dries.
Oh, yeah, I've definitely seen that before. Not a good look.
It's basically mineral deposits that get drawn out of the grout as it dries.
So is it a common problem?
It can be, especially if you're not careful.
What can we do to prevent it from happening?
Taf Big, he's got some tips for that. First off, he says it's all about managing that dwell time again. If you leave cleaning solutions on the grout for too long, you're more likely to get efflorescence.
Makes sense. So not just rushing the cleaning, but also not letting it sit for too long. It's all about finding that sweet spot.
You got it. And he also recommends using a floor machine with a white pad to buff away any haze that does appear.
So it's a combo of proper technique and the right tools.
Exactly. It's not rocket science, but you do need to know what you're doing.
It sounds like there's more to tile and grout cleaning than meets the eye.
Absolutely. Understanding how these cleaning solutions interact with different grout types, that's crucial for getting professional results.
No more just spraying and scrubbing.
Definitely not. Now, let's say we've tackled the cleaning part. What's next on our tile and grout adventure?
Well, sealing. Right, we can't forget about that.
Sealing is key. It protects that freshly cleaned grout, prevents future staining, makes it easier to clean down the line.
So what are the different types of sealers we should be aware of?
Taf Big talks about two main categories: solvent-based and water-based sealers.
Okay, break those down for me.
Solvent-based, they provide a more durable protection, but they take longer to dry.
So if you're on a tight schedule, maybe not the best option.
Right. Water-based sealers, they're more convenient, they dry faster, but they might not last as long.
Got it. So it's a trade-off between durability and convenience.
Pretty much. And Taf Big, he actually recommends a specific product, the DuPont No-Weight Grout Sealer.
DuPont, they make good stuff. No way. That sounds perfect for those busy days when you need to get in and out quickly.
Exactly. It's a lifesaver.
So we've got our solvent-based sealers for long-lasting protection, water-based for convenience, and the DuPont No-Weight for those rush jobs. Now, I remember being really intrigued by Taf Big's discussion on color sealing. Tell me more about that.
Color sealing, it's like magic. Well, almost. It's basically a way to restore the look of grout that's really stained or discolored. You know, when it's just seen better days.
So it's like giving the grout a makeover.
Exactly. You apply this color sealant, and it creates this uniform, refreshed look, makes the grout look brand new.
That's amazing. I can see why clients would love that.
Oh yeah, they go crazy for it. Especially if they have older grout that's lost its original color or has all sorts of inconsistent staining. It's a huge wow factor.
It's a great way to add value to your services.
For sure. Now, one thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Color sealing, it's only for cementitious grout.
Ah, so not for epoxy grout.
Nope. Epoxy grout is already pretty stain resistant, so it doesn't usually need color sealing.
Got it. So yet another reason why knowing your grout type is so important.
Absolutely. So you're thinking of offering color sealing as a service?
Definitely considering it. Seems like a real client pleaser. How long does a color seal typically last?
That depends on a few things. The type of sealer you use, the amount of traffic the area gets, things like that. But generally speaking, a good quality color seal can last for several years.
Several years.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. It's a great selling point for clients.
Hmm.
Now, Taf Big also touched on light restoration in his training, especially for marble. Is that something every tile and grout cleaning business should be offering?
It's definitely a valuable skill set to have, especially as you gain more experience.
So it's like taking our services to the next level.
Exactly. Light restoration, it can open up a whole new market for you, a whole new stream of revenue.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
What kind of restoration techniques are we talking about here?
For minor scratches and stains on marble, Taf Big recommends using diamond pads and a special marble restoration paste.
Diamond pads. Sounds fancy.
They're pretty cool. It's a much gentler approach than heavy grinding, but very effective for dealing with those minor imperfections.
So we're stepping up our game from basic cleaning to actual restoration work. What kind of equipment do we need for this?
You'll want a weighted floor machine for this. Taf Big suggests something around 130 pounds with a low speed of about 175 RPM.
Okay, so a bit more specialized than our usual cleaning equipment.
Yeah, you need that extra weight and control to work the diamond pads and restoration paste without damaging the marble.
So this weighted floor machine, is it the same one you'd use for heavier restoration jobs?
You could use it for some heavier tasks, but Taf Big is very clear about this. He says don't even think about attempting major marble repairs without the proper equipment and training.
He actually mentions needing a much heavier machine for that, something like 350 pounds. And he talks about these diamond grinding techniques, which sound pretty intense.
It's a whole other level of expertise.
So baby steps for now. Focus on light restoration with the right tools and techniques.
Exactly. Master the basics before you jump into the deep end.
Good advice. So where do we go from here? All this info, it's a lot to process.
You know, for anyone just starting out with tile and grout cleaning, I think the biggest takeaway is this whole identification thing.
Right. Knowing your tiles, knowing your grout.
Exactly. It's the foundation. Everything else builds on that.
It's like, if you don't know what you're dealing with, how can you choose the right approach?
Exactly. You could end up doing more harm than good. So once you've got that down, then it's all about investing in the right equipment.
Right, the tools of the trade.
Exactly. You need that high pressure power, whether it's from a truck mount or a portable with a booster. And those specialized tools like the Hydroforce, they make all the difference.
Yeah, speed and efficiency are key in this business.
Absolutely. And of course, we can't forget about our good friend Oxyblaster.
The grout cleaning superhero.
It really is a game changer. But remember, patience is key. Give it that dwell time, let it do its thing, and don't be afraid to reapply if needed.
Reapply and conquer those stubborn stains.
Yeah.
And what about if we run into that efflorescence issue? Any tips for dealing with that?
Manage that dwell time carefully. Don't let the cleaning solution sit for too long. And always have a floor machine with a white pad ready to go.
Just in case, right?
Exactly. It's better to be safe than sorry.
All right, so cleaning's done. We've tackled efflorescence. What's next?
Sealing time. Protect that beautiful grout. Prevent future stains. Keep it looking good for longer.
It's like the finishing touch. So solvent-based or water-based sealers, which one's the way to go?
Offer your clients a choice. Explain the pros and cons of each. Solvent-based, more durable but longer drying time. Water-based, quicker drying, but maybe not as long-lasting.
Options are always good. And for those rush jobs, we've got that DuPont no-weight sealer, right?
It's Taf Big's secret weapon.
I'm putting that on my shopping list for sure.
Yeah.
Now, what about color sealing? It's such a cool concept, really transforming that old, tired grout.
It's a game changer for sure. Clients love the results. Just remember, cementitious grout only.
Okay, epoxy grout, you're off the hook on this one.
Yeah.
So we've got cleaning, sealing, color sealing. Now let's talk light restoration, specifically for marble. Is that something every tile and grout cleaning business should be offering?
It's definitely worth considering, especially as you get more experience and want to expand your services. It's a whole other level of expertise.
And a whole other revenue stream, right?
Exactly. Plus, it uses a lot of the same equipment we already have for cleaning, like that weighted floor machine.
Right. The one Taf Big recommends for using those diamond pads and restoration paste. But he was pretty clear about not tackling major repairs without the right training and equipment.
Yeah, those heavier jobs, that's a whole other ball game. Best to leave that to the pros who specialize in that.
Smart move. So start with the basics, master those, and then gradually build up to those more advanced services.
That's the way to go. It's all about taking it step by step and building your expertise as you go.
Well, this has been an amazing deep dive. So much valuable info, all thanks to Taf Big's article and training. I feel like I'm ready to go out there and conquer the world of tile and grout cleaning.
That's what we like to hear.
So for all our listeners out there, as you're venturing into this exciting niche, what's one final piece of advice you'd give them?
Think about your niche. What kind of clients do you want to work with? What kind of projects excite you? Do you want to focus on high-end residential with those gorgeous marble floors? Or maybe specialize in commercial spaces where the tile and grout see a lot of action?
Great advice. Find your passion, find your market, and become the go-to expert in that area.
Exactly. That's how you build a successful business.
Well said.
Come check us out at magicwandcompany.com.